Hey, Nika,
Yeah.
can you call our good friend Ricky Martin, please?
Oh, what's going on with Ricky Martin?
Well, I think it's just time for some weekly awards, everybody. It's time to hand out some hardware.
It's me, Ricky Martin. Come on! Hot, hot, hot! Or cold? Yo! Hot, hot, hot! Or cold?
Cold. Yes, indeed. It is time to get hot, 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 or cold. And we are going to keep things traditional around here on this Memorial Day Monday. And we are going to start with the hot list. Nika, will you please cue up some hot music?
Hot music.
I'll tell you one fucking thing.
He's heating up.
I hope we get fucking hotter than shit.
He's on fire.
I said it's getting hot in here. So hot.
So hot right now.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
Excuse me, pardon me, coming through hot stuff.
Looking for some hot stuff, baby, this evening. I need some hot stuff, baby, tonight.
All right, we are bringing in the hot stuff, and we got number one with a bullet. It is our guy from the Chicago Cubs. Go Cubs, go. Seiya Suzuki. Banzai. Go Cubs, go. Go Cubs, go. Banzai. Seiya Suzuki is number one.
Is he making the hot list for the first time ever? I
The
think
first
so.
time I can remember.
Me too.
Yes, at least since we started doing it, which was the summer of last year.
Okay.
But he went 11 for 21 last week, Nika, with 4 doubles and 3 home runs. Think about that. 7 of those hits, of those 11 hits, were left the ballpark or at least netted him double bases. He had 10 runs batted in. I mean, anytime you're putting up double digits in RBIs in a week, it's a big week. He also scored 9 times, 3 walks to boot. That was a 524 batting average, a 583 on base, a 1.143 slugging percentage, and a 1.726
Hot. Smoking
OPS.
hot.
Yes, that is a high OPS, by the way. We get into the 1.5s and the 1.6s a lot, but the 1.7s are rare. So just wanted to give that a shout out as well to Seiya Suzuki.
Seiya Suzuki, good job. You know, he started so slow with
Yeah.
the Cubs. He had a hard time getting into the groove of things, and look at him go now.
He is going, and, the Cubs demoted him in the offseason kind of to DH from the outfield. He had a few outfield mishaps that we had seen, like losing the ball in the lights or in the sun. And
It happens.
It happens. It's embarrassing, and we all hate it. But I think he got a hard rap for those a little bit. And, I do want to point out when Ian Happ was out with the injury,
He played the outfield.
he played left field, and he did a really nice job filling in for him. He even had an outfield assist at the plate. He threw a guy out in one of those games.
Oh, so he's missing out by not playing in the outfield.
Well, I think he at least feels like appreciated to know that he can still do it.
Do you think it's possible for him to get back into the outfield?
Not on this Cubs roster. Not with
Tucker?
Pete Crow and Tucker and,
Yeah, no.
Ian Happ out there. So
DH it is.
DH it is, but he seems to be enjoying himself hitting. That's for sure.
That's great.
Number 2, Nika, is Taylor Ward, a.k.a. the most popular candidate to become the Padres' new left fielder at some point this season if they're able to swing that trade. But, the Angels need to get cold, I think, before that happens again, because they just had a big, long winning streak, which ended yesterday in Sacramento. But before that, Taylor Ward was 10 for 23 last week with 4 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs. Can see why Padres fans want this guy. He also had 10 RBIs along with 8 runs scored and 2 walks. That's a 435 batting average, a 444 on base percentage, a 957 slug, and a 1.401 OPS for Taylor Ward last week. Big numbers.
Next.
Let's get his number, AJ Preller. Last but not least is the youngster, the recent call-up for those Sacramento Athletics, as I'm calling them. Be damned if they like it or not. Nick Kurtz, the first baseman, the big kid. He was, I should say, 7 for 17 last week with 4 home runs for the young man.
Boy, does he look young.
And he also had 9 runs batted in, 5 runs scored, and 5 walks. That meant a 4.12 average, a 5.22 on base with those 5 walks, a 1.118 slug, and a 1.640 on base plus slugging. Nick Kurtz, young man, have yourself a week. You know, if there's not a Rookie of the Week award, you should get it if there was one. But if there's not, maybe even Player of the Week. I don't know. Hell of a week.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but believe it or not, one of these 3 was not our king. Nika, will you please cue the intro?
I am king, king, king.
It's good to be king.
Don't you know you're right when you're king?
Hail to the king, baby.
All right, well, we are hailing to the king, and it was another Los Angeles Angel, but not one that we've seen yet this week. It was Logan O'Hoppe, the catcher,
Oh,
with 4 home runs, and he settled a really big tiebreaker.
I see people change their Otani shirts to O'Hoppe by crossing the ending of the last name.
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny. Well, he was living up to his marketing, his Otani ways, by hitting 4 home runs this week, and he settled a 4-way tie with Gavin Sheets of the Padres, Isaac Paredes of the Astros, and the formerly mentioned Nick Kurtz of the Athletics also had 4 home runs. But there can be only one king, Nika, and so when it came to the total distance of all of the home runs this week, it was Logan O'Hoppe with the victory. And I think that second one right there is the difference maker, the 470-foot nuke.
Wow.
Talk about busting out a whooping stick. That has got to be one of the farthest home runs I've seen on this
Yeah.
year, at least. I mean,
Just looking at the number, the 7 doesn't really
move over, Aaron Judge. You've got company.
No kidding.
Yeah, Logan O'Hoppe, you know, he was a trade piece for Brandon Marsh from the Phillies. And you just wonder how that trade is going to age over time.
Well, the West Coast it seems to be doing well for Logan.
It does. It does indeed. And, well,
who you got
speaking of
next?
which, we got to go to another youngster on the East Coast this time for this week's Roadrunner, everybody. It's time to meep.
Meep, meep. Meep, meep.
All right. Well, that mischievous bird was all over the map this week, and it was Chandler Simpson. That's right. The recent Rays call up, and if you didn't know before this, well, you certainly do know now. The dude is fast. He
Okay.
looks like he might be faster than PCA.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, yeah, he's up there. It's like Ellie De La Cruz, Pete Crow Armstrong, and
Oh,
Chandler Simpson.
You think Ellie De La Cruz is faster than PCA?
I think they're close.
Hmm.
They both have hit like inside the park home runs in the last couple of years, and I
Okay.
think you have to be pretty fast to do that. I mean, you have to get a lucky bounce too, but
There's other things that happen.
you have to be fast. That's
Okay.
the first requirement. No, Chandler Simpson, the recent call-up, gets 5 stolen bases this week. He earns the Roadrunner Award. Congratulations. I'm going to also boldly predict that this is not going to be his last Roadrunner Award, even this year. I'm
Oh.
putting him back on this year, Nika.
Is he on pace for X amount of stolen base?
I don't know his totals, you know, off the top of my head, but and he was only called up in mid-season, so he doesn't have a full season.
Gotcha.
But he is certainly making his presence known and felt, especially now that he's got some hardware to go with it.
No kidding. Okay. Good job.
All right, but in the meantime, the desert is very hot, and I am feeling that air conditioner kick on, Nika. It is getting very cold in here.
How feel you? I feel cold.
You're as cold as ice.
Let's kick some ice.
A throwback to the 90s at the end.
Yeah. Well, that's where we're from, Nika.
Yeah.
You and me. If you didn't know this before now, you're hearing it. It is a Generation X / Millennium Cusp
That's you.
sports show, and it's not for all millennials. You have you have to be a certain millennial. All right. Well, it is cold in here, and we are going back to Boston. And last week it was Christian Campbell, the youngster. This week it's Cedane Rafaela, the other youngster. He's not a call-up. He's in his second or third year now, but he was number one this week on the
Ice
list
cold.
you don't want to be on. Ice cold, 1 for 22 with only 1 RBI, 3 runs scored, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. That's a 0.45 average, a 125 on base, a 0.45 slug, and a 170 OPS. Minuscule. I could crush that ice cube in my hands, Nika.
That is cold.
Very cold. Who else was cold? Willie Adames. The first time I've seen him on this list this year, but I know he made it a couple times last year.
did.
Because he was also on the hot list at like the
A week
opposite
before.
weeks.
Yeah.
It was weird. Maybe he's going to get hot this week. I wouldn't hate that because that would mean he would be cold again next week when the Padres play at San Francisco.
Okay.
Well, we'll wait and see, everybody. But you heard it here first. Willie Adames was 2 for 22 last week with a triple, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored, a couple of walks, and 7 strikeouts. That's a 0.91 average, a 167 on base, a 182 slug, and a 349 OPS. So not quite as minuscule as some of our other contestants on the cold list, but he owes a lot of that to that triple, Nika. Mm-hmm. Brought that slugging percentage right up there. Anyways, moving right along here. Boy, this guy can jump, but he couldn't hit last week, and that's Dalton Varsho, the center field phenom in the field for the Blue Jays. But he was not hitting last week. He was only 2 for 21 with a triple, a home run, and 6 RBIs. So when he hit it good, and that probably came against the Padres of all teams because,
Most
we got
likely.
swept there. He also scored a couple runs and had 6 strikeouts. And if you didn't know, this is Gary Varsho's son, former major leaguer. Some of you might remember the name because he was a Cub. But he was 0.95 batting average last week, a 0.91 on base. I don't know how you have that, but I guess it happened. A 333 slug with the triple and the home run, and a 424 OPS. So some low ass numbers right there for Dalton Varsho. But he did have those big hits with the home run and the triple to bring up that slug. OPS fixed.
It only takes one odd bat sometimes, to get it back.
Or in this case, 2.
Or 2. Oh, fine.
We'll see how he does this week. But boy, the guy can field.
And jump.
And jump. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, it's without further ado, I feel some breeze.
Oh, do you?
Hey, bada, 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 so we bada. Hey, bada, 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 so we bada. Kennedy, so we
Is his name
bada.
Kennedy?
I think so. I have
Oh.
no idea why, but it's just from the movie. So if you know why Chandler, is that his name? No. Ferris and...
I don't know. It's been a while since I watched that movie. But everybody knows the Ferris
I know
Bueller.
his name right now. I'm totally...
Chandler. I think it's Chandler.
Yeah, I think it's Chandler. Wow. But I think I'm wrong too.
On the Chandler man
Maybe.
name? Okay.
That's embarrassing. But what are you going to do? It happens to the best of us behind the microphone at times.
We blink. Chandler.
It's not Chandler.
Okay, well, I'm going to Google it and let you know in a
Sweet.
second.
Google
but
it. But meanwhile, do you have the
Yeah.
big whiffer on the screen
Yes,
yet?
I do.
Do you see who it is?
Ian Happ, out of all people.
Yeah, after coming back from that injury,
Wow.
he winds up on the big whiffer list. I mean, 11 strikeouts. That's a lot for Ian Happ in a
That
week.
is a lot.
I don't remember Ian Happ having that bad of a week in my life. And I also see I didn't change the week on the bottom, so I screwed up the graphic. But, hey, that happens as well. I'm going to fix that so nobody knows it happened. Ha ha.
So he whiffed too much.
He whiffed
season.
way too much this week, and he really needs to cut that down in the leadoff spot for the Padres. I mean, oh my gosh, I'm all over the place right now for the Cubs.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day, and you know what? That's gonna do it for awards.
Cameron.
Monday.
His name was Cameron.
Cameron, thank you.
Took me a second to get
Jeez. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Well, Cameron was saying Kennedy, and I don't know why.
Well.
Nika, can you go to the final slide, please?
Oh, the schedule.
Yes.